Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we actually have quite a few different things to go and talk about all throughout today, where we actually have some kind of big news in terms of the global sales. When it comes to all the PlayStation 5, Switch, Xbox, and all that, actually kind of funny enough, the Xbox is doing okay. PlayStation 5 is doing great, and the Switch is kind of coming in clutch as per usual. But as well, on top of that too, we actually have a pretty big issue too as well with PlayStation 5 licensing issues that are actually now causing a lot of people to have a lot of problems, a lot of just struggles, and a lot of other things tied into as well. So a lot of good stuff to go bring up, a lot of good things to mention, and as well, should be some fun stuff to talk about. And on top of that too, make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on. We do keep on promoting out the brand new, free $200 from the How promotions down below for the brand new Samsung stuff. So if you guys like Samsung phones, headphones, all that, check that on down below. We have the Twitter and Twitch stream down below. Weeble, Coinbase targets, everything else as well down below. Amazon signups too. We should have a lot of pretty good stuff, I think, coming out all throughout these next few days when it does come with content. So let's go talk about it. So first and foremost, let's maybe go talk a little bit more on the, drama side. So, I know we'll talk about a little bit of numbers. I usually like numbers a bit better, but we'll say that for the part two. So for this, we've actually now been seeing a lot more recent issues now with licensing issues. Now, if you guys don't know, obviously when you guys buy a game, make a game, get a game, you have all these various side production things. So what I mean by that is that the PlayStation 5, say maybe in Europe, say maybe in Japan, say maybe in America, all have different legal rights. If you maybe own, say, certain games from certain regions, it may not be the same for Europe. Same thing for music, same things for movies. It's kind of like Netflix has different types of titles in the Europe versus America, or America versus China, or China versus Japan. Same thing with a lot of other various things I'm sure you guys have seen. But now, once again, are having a lot more people having issues, causing headaches, and just not being a good vibe. So the PlayStation 5 game licensing issues can cause headaches from paying PlayStation Plus users. So Sony's PlayStation 5 game licensing system is preventing any active paying PlayStation Plus premium subscribers from now accessing certain content. So now, this is basically now going and saying, and we've had this issue before, they do usually fix it, and I do believe at least for this one has been fixed too as well, which is why we're going to do a part 2 video for it. But I just want to talk more on the topic of the fact that a lot of these things are actually now being just constant headaches and constant hiccups where it does seem like they're losing content. Now, although they usually do at least try their best to fix it, a few weeks ago for the brand new PlayStation Plus, it was fully gone. What I mean by that is that the PlayStation Plus had a few games you should have been able to go and live stream. You should have been able to go enjoy with your upgraded premium packages for PS Plus. And sadly, they just never actually were added. We saw some of the leaks too as well. We saw everything on top of that too. It wasn't good. A lot of these things actually got removed, and it wasn't too fun. So keeping you guys on the loop for that one. Thankfully, I do believe some of these issues are fixed as of now. But the fact that we keep on seeing and running into these hiccups, granted, it is a brand new service, but also on the reverse side, Sony is a multi-billion-dollar company. So this is all in regards to for the Final Fantasy VII Remake Integrate. So today, Sony actually did go and add the Final Fantasy VII, a little bit ago, Remake Integrate as a downloadable game for all PlayStation Plus Premium and Extra subscribers. But the multi-SKU, and I'm sure you guys hear me mention that when it comes to restocks, was actually having a lot of licensing issues with it. So because of that, Sony was actually locking people out of the games that they should have access to. They were making it because of their kind of somewhat mediocre and bad system, has basically just made a lot of things being rough. So I'm just letting you guys all know that this is not the first time. That's why I'm kind of even talking about it too as well. They end up getting fixed or added depending on legalities and all of that. But it does kind of seem like the one major big issue with it is the fact that it's a consistent thing. So with this, basically the rundown is say you're trying to go buy a PlayStation. You have one PlayStation, you have another PlayStation. So someone tweets out someone like me, and they're like, buy this one. But sadly, that was an old, outdated SKU, doesn't work, hasn't happened for a while, they have a new one. It's kind of like that. It's basically you had to pick and choose, and they're just picking the wrong one to be added to your content. But I do kind of feel like this type of stuff should almost never happen, mainly because this is for the premium service. They should have quality control, and everything should be hopefully a little bit nicer. So his game classifications have now caused issues since now the console's release. And this is why I'm kind of complaining even more that people are getting locked out and having issues. Because unlike Microsoft Smart Delivery, which automatically upgrades or downwards a game based on the console used, so things like you're on an Xbox, 360, you're good. You're on Xbox One, you're good. Series X and S, you're good. Sony basically does and separates the PS4 and PS5 games into two different versions. So basically, just their system's mediocre, gotten issues all the time. So it's basically caused save issues, progression issues, so from PS4 to PS5 and everything else. And now, even with all these integrated issues, and also on the live streams too, in terms of legality and everything else. Like, people keep getting locked out of their games. So PlayStation Plus premium subscribers are currently unable now. This has been fixed, thankfully, but still, it's big enough news that this was annoying. Able now be able to add the newly added PS Plus additional free game called that for the PS5 version. So they already have purchased the game, so they had issues with that, or they already had it upgraded from the PS4 to PS5 versions. Basically, it was just leading to a lot of, like, you had just multiple versions of the same game that were still having issues. So basically, they can even confirm this conflict is happening because they even happened to them. That's because they bought the game in 2020, they purchased it too as well for PS4, then 2021 they upgraded to the free version of the integrated version 2 as well, and on top of that too, there's like 5 different versions. You have the base version, you have deluxe versions, you have the DLC versions, you have the free versions, you have the PS Plus versions. Like, I could see how it can get confusing, but even then still, it should be double checked. So I never purchased Final Fantasy VII Remake Integrate with them for putting it for real money, although going to Sony's PlayStation Store recognizes redemptions as purchases. So basically, the whole system was just confused in itself. It didn't know what it was doing. It was locking people out of their games, and it's still been going on, and probably still will keep on happening until we see that Sony has a proper good fix for all this stuff. And it makes me sad that it doesn't have that already. It makes me sad that this is an issue. It makes me sad that people had to wait for them to fix this overall. So, kind of a big struggle with it. Sony didn't respond or make comments on it, but as you guys can probably go and see with some of these pictures, it just kind of goes to show that it's just not good. Like, look, you can't buy this because you already own it, but you're trying to get the good old DLC for it and you can't get it. Just annoying issues nonetheless. So, as well too, I guess for that, if you guys had any issues, leave a comment down below. I'm just gonna hope that Sony fixes it, because I don't like seeing Sony and PlayStation locking people out of games, and this has been happening too with the live streams, this has been happening too with PS Plus Premium, and this also on the legality rights, and also even this as well. And on top of this, just for a little quick number of videos as well, the PlayStation 5 and Xbox actually have some good launch sales comparisons for week 87, so over here from VG Charts, where you guys can actually go and see a huge, massive uptake when it comes to the Switch. Funny enough, whereas kind of rolling, kind of going good. This is probably around the holidays, and just had a huge random bump for kind of God knows why. Maybe in terms of sales or whatever, but maybe in terms of, like, maybe the brand new, say, Switch Splatoon. There's a lot of potentials with it, but we'll have to go and see. So with this one, we actually are now seeing the overall numbers where it's pushing the 21.4 million units sold for the Switch itself, which is fantastic and great. The PS5 itself is pushing on 21 million, a little bit of a smidgen over that, and it's really right underneath Nintendo too, where the numbers are around 400,000 right underneath it, and it's close, it's getting there, but it's still not fully there. You also have the Xbox right below it, which has still been a good, great console, loving it, seeing it, but sadly, that's still another 5 million underneath that too as well. Probably should have the and you guys can also see the rest of this too, where you can see the weeks available too as well. We can see that, and you can see the numbers, you see the grants and all that stuff, which is overall not too bad. So as you're looking through it, it does seem like the Switch has been on top of that. Switch is at 37% market share, PS5 is at 36%, and the Xbox Series S and S is at only 26.9%. Which, I'll be honest, has been slogging. It's not been good. I mean, they're still kind of trucking, they're still competing, but at the end of the day, it's been, kind of all over the place. It kind of be either way. So, we also do have the numbers, too. You guys can see the comparisons, which are also very neck and neck. These are very, very close. 7.7, with them actually leading up that for the PS5 side. 7.3 side, too, as well for the Switch, which you guys actually can see the lead. Like, it actually is leading the charts. And on top of that, too, right below for 7.2 million. So it's all very comparable, all very close. Nothing super crazy, but it's getting there. As well, too, that's also more so based on the United States numbers mixed on in. We're also seeing a lot of the Japanese and Europe side, or even Europe over here, too. You guys can see the charts. 7.5, and as well we also have the 5.4 for the Switch and 4.5 for the Xbox. So it's kind of like the differential you can see between the consoles. It is pushing for Sony. It does seem like they're pushing good numbers. It does seem like they're getting good movement. But at the end of the day, like, they're all kind of very, very close. They're very, very, very close to as well. Also, the weeks are slightly different. The big thing, though, is on Japan, where Japan's pushing the 5.4. That's good. That's insane. It's comparable to the rest of the world, but at least in Japan, it's just so different. PS5 is at 1.7, which is kind of right smack dab in the middle, and then the Xbox at 270 themselves. So it kind of goes to show that all these kind of mixtures and stuff, it's kind of pushing way more into the Switch still, but everything else is kind of holding on up. So give me your thoughts and comments down below. Give me all the details on top of that too as well. We also have the HOL links working with Samsung too, so keep on checking that up down below. Twitter and Twitch streaming, fix all those issues hopefully on Sony's end, and I appreciate you guys all so much for watching in the first place.